edition here of Coach's Corner. Today we're back here with the volleyball squad as, man, they have had one heck of a preseason. Back here with head coach Chase Soennichsen. And Coach, first off, I mean, what a preseason for you guys, going 14-1 throughout the preseason. Just tell me about how the journey has gone to kind of get to where we're at today.
You know, I could tell since day one the girls were eager, hungry to learn, but we've moved on so fast, like everything's like getting nailed down right away. It's kind of scary, and it's not just 5 or 6, it's all 17.
Yeah.
I mean, every girl's got some ample playing time, and now, you know, we're gearing up for conference, and I'm like, well, I can go 17 solid. I don't know, you know, just depends on whose day it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, obviously conference matches are going to start this week, and that's something that's big because, you know, when you talk Region 9 volleyball, it's like one of the toughest ones is the district that you guys are in. But during that crossover tournament, you guys were still able to stay undefeated, get some big wins in that. How big was that conference tournament to kind of really focus in just seeing some of the level of competition that you're going to see here in Region 9?
Well, you know, normally, typically for the last 10, 15 years, Western Nebraska has been a powerhouse in the South. The girls rose to the occasion and beat them in 3, and then same with the next match. North Platte is no one to scoff at. They,
right.
You know, took them in 4, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? You know,
yeah.
But we just rolled with it.
You know, it kind of felt like that you guys, when you were talking about rolling, you guys have done sets after sets after sets, and it's been 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and then occasionally there's a 4, there might be a 5, but the grit and determination still has just been there. Who has been some of the people that have kind of really helped lead this team, especially into such a good preseason?
You know, we have 2 setters that are running the show for us. We run a 6-2, but, you know, looking at stats, it's so even across the board that it's truly 100% a team effort. There's no standout.
Right.
We get the same results out of every kid, which I'm fine with.
You know, we talk about stats, we talk about wins. What does it mean for the team coming off McCook loss? Coming from Riverton, now you guys are playing at home finally. First time you're finally back at home, which we'll get that here in a bit. But give me some of the things that maybe you saw from the team that you saw in that McCook game that you're like, oh, hey, we need to work on this, or else this is what we're going to get beat on throughout the year.
Well, you know, McCook ran a super fast tempo with small outsides, and I do have some tall pins, and it's hard to adjust to a smaller player. Whereas now conference, we go against taller athletes. I think it'll be a little easier as far as blocking, but they ate us alive. But I, like I said, ran 17 players. My starting 6, 7, you know, fell down 2-0, so I threw in 6 freshmen and 1 sophomore, and won the next 2 sets. I'm like, hey, reverse sweep, why not? You know, ended up losing 15-10, but I just flat out, you know, part of our culture is we get better. We don't get mad. We just move on and get better. So,
you know, it's kind of crazy. You go through 3 sets and you go up to 25, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get to around that 5th set. It goes into 5, and it goes to 15. It doesn't go to the 10. Why is that the case? Is it just something that just kind of got put in the rules to kind of make it go faster, or what was kind of the reason for that, if you ever knew?
Well, you know, it's just the 5th and deciding set, so everything's got to be different. Like we, you know, during regular games, we stay on the same side. Then 5th set, we switch at 8. So it's volleyball's all momentum, so everything switches. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a momentum shifter, basically.
Yeah.
They wanted something. Yeah. They wanted to throw a new rule out there and be like, "Hey, this is
why not? Why not?
You know, just something to go at." And, you know, that kind of feels like a lot of times whenever you have the momentum, it's a lot easier to push it into the next game. And speaking of momentum, you're coming in to your first home session. You get Central Wyoming coming up on Friday, and then Northwest College on Saturday. When you look at those 2 games, when you come home, what does it mean just for you and the girls just to be home to play at your home venue?
We have been road warriors. I never really used the term until this season. We've been gone. We've been Nebraska, deep south in Wyoming, all over the country, and it's nice to just sleep in, you know, in your own bed,
just
that
take
kind of
the
thing.
relaxing.
So we can, you know, go to class, get a good meal, and not have to rush from hotel to hotel, pack up, and that kind of stuff. And I know that we have several fans that are excited to have us home too.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we've got a couple players that we're going to get to talk to coming up here in a moment. Tell us a little bit about one of them, and then we'll have you come back, and then we'll talk about the next one. So tell us a little bit about the first girl that we want to bring on today.
First one we have is Paige Rose from Wyoming, and she is our fierce leader in the back row, our libero.
And libero, tell us about how important that role is. We'll get her definition about it in a little bit, but tell us your definition of how important a libero is here in volleyball.
She keeps the play alive. If the block doesn't get a touch or if the ball goes through, she's our first line of defense, and without her, 99% of the balls probably wouldn't be up. So she keeps it alive for us.
When you kind of look at Paige, what has been some of the progressions and stuff that you've seen from her this year that you've kind of been able to keep building on so far?
I think she had a general concept. We're just letting her play free. Like, she's an athlete, she's competitive, and she just gets after everything. So now she knows what the expectations are, and I think she has those same high expectations. She can just do it now without having to worry. It's high risk, high reward. It's a game of errors, and she bounces back so fast, so it's a great position for her.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk with Paige Rose coming back after this break. We'll be back here with more of the Coach's Corner. And welcome back here to the Coach's Corner. Paige Rose now joins us here as we are still rocking with our volleyball program. And Paige, first off, excellent start to this preseason. I was talking with Coach Chase about it, saying, 14-1 this season. It kind of feels like it's one of the best records that it's been for a while. In regards of that, what have you seen from this team just in preseason alone?
I feel like we have really good energy this year. We've been working on kind of being more of like a family, and like everyone has a role. Like whether you're on the court playing or whether you're on the bench like supporting people, and those roles may switch. We really just focus on everyone has a huge role on the team, and every role is just as important.
One of the things that Coach was telling you is you're the libero, so you're the person that's going to be everywhere and anywhere on that court. How big of it is for you to get that team role, to be the libero here for your team?
It's really exciting. I feel like it's. Sorry, can you ask me the question one more time? What do you mean by that?
So what would be, obviously your team role is the libero, so basically you're pretty much the person that's going to be on the court kind of setting everything up, that type of stuff. So how big of that team role, basically what I mean is when you're looking as a team player in that being your team role, how do you think that's impacted so far this team?
I don't know, we've had a couple switches and stuff. I think it impacts it just because I feel like as a libero, one of our jobs is just to be really loud and just talk to everybody all the time. So I feel like I'm trying to be better at that, and I feel like that's a really big part of the team, just so people can know where to hit or know if the ball is going in or out, or who should take it. So I feel like that's a really important role as a libero.
When did you start playing volleyball?
I started in 7th grade, so middle
grade.
school, yeah.
It's kind of different from a lot of the people. They kind of started when they're little and then kind of worked their way up.
Yeah.
So what made you want to start playing?
Honestly, so I'm from a really small town, and in 6th grade you can only run cross country. You can't play volleyball. So I ran cross country in 6th grade, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to play volleyball. I'm just going to be a runner for the rest of my life. And my mom was like, maybe you should try it. My older sister plays. My mom played a little bit in high school, and so I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I just tried it, and I just really loved it.
So you ran cross country. What was your fastest time?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, probably not very good.
It's kind of funny. I ran cross country in high school, and one of my things, because I wasn't running super fast, wasn't trying to beat in my times, my parents were like, we're going to give you $1 for every second you beat. That was not the smartest thing they did, because I beat my time by over 5-6 minutes.
Oh, wow.
They said, yeah, we're not doing that again. So I got
That's
an iPod
crazy.
Touch out of it.
Oh,
but
that's
it
nice.
worked.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things. Did you have any motivators or things like that, either maybe through cross country or volleyball, that kind of kept you going?
I feel like I just really like pushing myself. I know it's really hard. Obviously, hard workouts and stuff, it's really mentally hard and physically hard, but I feel like I just love the feeling afterwards of feeling like I worked so hard, and I don't know, it just feels really good for me to work hard and feel like, okay, I pushed myself.
taking a look at your stats here, you got 5 kills so far this year. You played in 50 sets, but the one thing that's kind of looking at me really nice is a goose egg 0 on airs. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd have a lot of airs if I played volleyball. So how are you able to keep everything clean?
I just feel like trying to stay really disciplined and like always stay moving. That's kind of something we've been focused on a lot this year. And I just trying not to think. Coach always tells me, like, stop thinking. Like, you're so much better when you don't think.
Yeah.
So just, like, I know what I'm doing. I don't have to overthink everything. Just trying to be loose and play my game.
We're going to try and knock on wood right now to make sure broadcaster's jinx doesn't happen here. But no, that's really cool. And then, getting big wins, when you look at Western Nebraska, one of those teams that Coach was saying in the crossover challenge that you guys were able to just go out and just win. When you look at that win in the program, what did that do for it? Did it kind of like boost you guys and be like, okay, yeah, we can go kick some butt this year? Or was it like, okay, yeah, it was a great win, but we still need to work on this to keep going?
Yeah, I feel like Western Nebraska really upped our confidence a lot. And then the next day we played Southeast and we kind of had a little bit tougher time to like get rolling and stuff. So I feel like it kind of did both for us. Like it was like, okay, we can beat good teams, but we also need to play at the same level against every single team and really just push always and never relax.
Well, let's kind of switch back. Obviously we have wins, but we also have one loss. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just one singular loss. And it was back out in Riverton against McCook Community College. What did you see from your team in that game? I know it was a loss, but it was a 15-10 game from checking all the stuff on it. When you look at how that game went, what were some of the things that probably could have been done different, or do you guys think everything just went the way it just, it was probably time for us to lose one?
I think even though we lost, a lot of things went right. Like during that game, we put a lot of freshmen in and a lot of other players, and I think they really did a good job of stepping up and working really hard and getting to shine when they got the opportunity. But I feel like the first couple of sets we were a little too relaxed and like our serve receive was kind of rough. We just needed to communicate more and just be more intense.
Absolutely. So what does Paige Rose have for the rest of her future? What are you working out?
That's a great question. Right now, I definitely want to go to a 4-year after this. I don't know if I want to keep playing or not, but I definitely want to get my bachelor's. I don't know what in yet because I'm doing generals right now.
Do you know what kind of what route you want to go in a 4-year college? I mean, is there a certain one that you're kind of looking at that's like, hey, I want to go there maybe just for the vibes, maybe for the school, like anything on that?
Right now I'm leaning towards just University of Wyoming just because my sister goes there and the tuition is cheaper and I get a lot of like in-state scholarships since I'm from Wyoming. So I'm leaning towards that right now.
That's the craziest part for me is like hearing that, oh yeah, you can go to Wyoming for like little to no money. And I'm sitting over here, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about going to get my master's from Wyoming because I've been here for a year now. So I'm technically a resident.
Yeah.
So it works that way. But that's kind of crazy on that part. But so if you had a chance to play volleyball, would you try to play volleyball there as well? Or is there another place that if you got a call and they were like, hey, we want you to come play, where would you go?
Honestly, if someone gives me a better offer than I don't think it'll happen because the tuition at Wyoming is cheap. But if someone gives me like a really good offer and it's like a fun school, I would go play.
You would go play?
Yeah.
Yeah, D2, D3, doesn't matter?
Maybe not D3.
Not D3,
I would do D2, but...
A D2?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, I get no D3s, but D2s, maybe get the D1, maybe get Nebraska to call you.
Oh, yeah, you know me.
That'd be so cool,
Yes.
being out there. And it's crazy how big that program has turned in. I don't know if you watched it, but I think it was a couple years ago. They actually put it at the football stadium.
Yeah,
and
it was so
and broke the
cool.
record. Did you get to watch it or anything?
Yeah, I watched it just online, but it was like they had like 92,000 people or something
crazy.
there. It was insane.
Yeah, and then like they even had like their alumni, like it was the basketball or the volleyball team that's there now against the alumni, and that stadium was packed. It was crazy. So that's pretty awesome. Well, before we get you out of here, pregame meal, pregame snack that you like, or pregame snack / pregame meal, whatever, and then pregame drink that you like to have before each match.
Pre-game snack or meal, I'm going to have to go with rice cake and peanut butter and then chocolate chips on top as like a snack, or fruit snacks.
Or fruit snack.
Those are always a
You
solid.
went from like kind of super healthy to, well, if I have some fruit snacks, I'm going to be a little kid again.
Well, I feel like I eat the rice cake a little bit sooner before the game, and then like in the locker room right before, eat some fruit snacks. In between sets, eat some fruit snacks. Get that quick sugar.
So what's like your drink? Do you drink Gatorade? Do you drink an energy
I
drink?
really
Do you
like
drink
Body
water?
Armor.
Body Armor.
Yeah,
okay.
orange mango Body Armors.
Orange mango Body Armor. Huh. Might have to try it.
They're so good.
I like some of the Body Armors, but not all.
Yeah, I usually like the strawberry banana one. Don't really like that one, but the orange mango one, it's
Orange
really
mango.
good.
I guess I'm gonna have to try that one
Yeah.
out. And rice cakes, peanut butter, and chocolate. Is it really that good?
I think it's really good.
Really?
Especially like if you get the chocolate rice cake and then the peanut butter on it. Ooh.
So you have to get the chocolate rice cake, then put the peanut butter, but then you put chocolate chips with it too?
Yeah, if you want extra chocolate, which
If you
I
want
mean,
extra
who doesn't?
chocolate. I mean, true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try this. We're gonna have. I need to have like a show, a segment, because I've heard so many pregame meals, pregame drinks, things like that, and just like this is what I'm gonna do. It's Coach's Corner, and Chase is gonna try everything out.
Yes, that would be
That's
so
how it's
cool.
gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So. Well, Paige, we appreciate your time and joining us, and best of luck this week as you have your home advantage coming your way. Before we quickly get you out, how big is it to be at home this week?
Oh, it's so great. I feel like we've been traveling for like the past month. So it's so great to just be able to stay at home and have the day to just relax and really get ready for the game. And of course to see all of our home crowd. Can't wait for everyone to come and watch.
Absolutely. Well, that's been Paige Rhodes, as we're going to get back to head coach Chase Soennichsen coming back up here in a moment, as once again the volleyball program is finally at home. The Road Warriors are finally home Warriors this weekend. We'll be back with more of the Coach's Corner coming up after this. And welcome back here to Coach's Corner. Chase Horsley here with head coach Chase Soennichsen. It's the Chase Show once again here as we're back here with the volleyball program. We just talked with Paige Rose, coach, and some of the big things that we kind of talked about was, one, it was her being her libero, basically being that team leader that we kind of talked about and being everywhere on the court. But, you know, some of the other things she was talking about, like in the McCook game, that everything kind of felt like it was going in the right direction. It just kind of fell short just a little bit. Would you kind of agree to some of that to an extent?
Oh, 100%. I just, it was an early morning game, and it started picking up, but it was a little too late.
Yeah.
Like you said, we talked about that fifth set only being in 15. Had it been to 25, I think we'd had a different outcome.
Yeah, it was definitely a very big game, and obviously 14-1 now. You get to play home, and one of the things that she talked about also being home was going to be a really big thing because family and stuff get to come in and actually get to watch and do that stuff. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about our next player, Josie.
Yeah, Josie's a middle blocker out of Arizona, sophomore. She, just like Paige Rose, she's our first line of defense as a middle blocker. It's not a middle attacker, blocker. So she knows that her role is to shut people down or at least slow them down.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get to talk with Josie coming up here in a moment, as we'll be right back here with more of Coach's Corner. And welcome back here to Coach's Corner. Chase Horsley here along now with Josie Overson, and she is the middle blocker, and Coach said you're not the attacker. You have to block everything down. But Josie, how are you doing so far, and how do you think the team's been going?
I think we've been doing really well. Coming off of a kind of rough season last year, I think, going into this, we're obviously excited and we're hoping for a better start and a better season overall.
Obviously preseason 14-1, that's the big key, and we've kind of talked about how the momentum has kind of changed in the sense of that. But when you kind of look at the team as a whole, granted, yes, they're 14-1, but what are some things maybe you guys should kind of focus on getting ready for conference play this week?
I think a big thing that we need to work on is just bringing our intensity and aggression up. I think a lot of the players, me included, get worried about making mistakes, and we play safe. And I think that really holds us back in some cases, especially with tight games. I was talking with Coach earlier about when it's tight, and in high school you could afford to just not make errors, and now in college you really have to be the one being the aggressor and attacking the other team in order to pull through.
So explain for those that are like, well, your role is also to attack, but obviously coach says no, you're the blocker, you're blocking things down.
Yes.
So explain your role just a little bit for those that, may not understand what that means.
Okay, my main job is a middle blocker, so I'm mainly a defensive player. And my biggest job for the team is just to make sure that they don't get lit up too bad and try to cover as much as I can. And then when the ball is there and when the opportunity arises, for me to just put a ball away if it's open.
So in high school, were you the same way? Have you always been playing defense, or have you at one point became one of those that tries to get all the points and stuff for your team?
In high school, I was definitely still a defensive player.
Okay.
That was my main job. I think in high school, we didn't have as many bigger hitters as we do now, so I was obviously a little bit more of an attacker compared to now, but I was still definitely a defensive player.
What would you say the team identity is right now? I know obviously a rough season last year, but now it kind of feels like things are going in the direction that you guys want it to. So what would you kind of classify this season's identity as?
I think the identity... Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Like basically, is it more of like team focused first? Is it more of like we're focused more on defense, we're focused more on offense, this is how we're able to get the job done, that type of identity?
Yeah, I think as soon as our coach came in, he talked about how looking at last year's stats and looking at last year's film, he saw our defense and how it struggled, and I think he really has worked hard, and we've all worked hard to push our defense up to a higher level. I think our offense was always kind of pretty good, and we were always pretty aggressive. I mean, we could always be better, but I think we've definitely become we're very scrappy, and we're just aggressive all around the floor.
So tell us what the competition was like in high school. You're coming from Arizona, so was it very, a lot of competition that everyone was coming at you, or was it kind of like laid-back high school competition?
It depended. In my high school, it's very different. The divisions are very different in Wyoming than they are in Arizona, and I had about 48 other teams just in my division, in our conference. In our conference, and it was very competitive.
Yeah.
We only ever made it to state my junior year and senior year, and that hadn't happened for over a decade, I think.
Wow.
And so it was really hard to get to that point, and yes, I think our competition was high. We had some very good private schools in our division, and I just think obviously this college level is extremely higher, but
What do you think has led to so much of your work ethic of being able to, obviously, one, become one of the top blockers, one, being a team leader here this year? What has driven you to do that?
I think coming into it last year, one of my biggest, mottos that kept me going, even when I was struggling, was I just control what I can control. That's a big thing in volleyball, is even when you get mad or you want to do well, a lot of the times you just can't, or you're just not able to put a ball away, or you're just not where you need to be. So you just need to control what you can and just be there for your team and work as hard as you can, and the rest will follow if you're just pushing yourself as hard as you can.
So we basically have classified you guys as the road warriors because you guys have been on the road this whole month, 2 months, however long it's been. Now you guys are finally home. What are road games like? Is there a lot of different preparation when it comes to a home game? Obviously, this is going to be the first home game this year, but what has been the preparation like for all the road games that you guys have had so far?
Yes, we have been on the road many times. Our coach has talked to us about just trying to make sure we get enough sleep and staying well rested throughout the whole time. And he also has just been trying to make sure that we're eating pretty well. Obviously, when you're on the road, you can't have your regular diet, so that does change things.
Right.
And I just think he tries to keep us energized on the bus, like talks to us, and I think just trying to keep the energy up and the motivation going and everything.
What's the best meal you've had on the road so far this year?
We did go to Olive Garden. That's probably not the healthiest, but it was the best.
Yeah. What'd you end up getting?
I think I shared with Paige, my roommate. She got like a spaghetti, the forever spaghetti.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
yeah, where it's like the limitless
Yeah,
spaghetti
the
thing.
limitless spaghetti, and I got like a lasagna, and a lot of breadsticks.
So you guys were set. Y'all
Yes,
were just going.
yes, we
How
did.
many plates did you guys finish?
We tried for a third. We didn't finish the third all the way, but we tried.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, all it is just trying to get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
No, that all-you-can-eat pasta really messes me up every single time. I'm like, oh, I don't want you, but you're the cheapest thing on here.
Yes.
And so it does make sense on that. But, well, obviously, talk about Paige, and talk about your teammates so far this season. I mean, a lot of it, everyone has just kind of come together for Chase and just kind of changed the culture of this situation. So has there been a person that's kind of stepped up in the leadership role on your team? Has there been someone that's like trying to be the funny person? What's that been like so far?
I really love the environment and the team as a whole. A lot of the freshmen have brought great energy in, and they're all positive and willing to learn and just hungry. And I think, we have a lot of team and leader players here. Our captains, Kate and Tatum, they're both very leader roles, and they push our team. And Tatum's very inclusive, and Kate just knows what's going on, and she's smart on the court. And I think everybody just brings a good, positive energy. And the freshmen, they're just all very hungry and just willing to learn anything.
So obviously, first home game this week, and not going to be the easiest of tests for this one. But what are some of your keys, like your 3 keys to this week? What are 3 goals that you guys want to make sure that you guys have each and every match coming up throughout the rest of the season?
For this conference play, it will obviously be a lot harder than our preseason. And I think our biggest thing with these bigger hitters is we need to make sure our defense is set. That includes the blocking. I think our back row defense has gotten phenomenally better, and they're really good, and they're aggressive, and they hustle. And I think our blocking, just me personally, I could get there faster and set up the block so that they're not able to tool as well. And then the second thing, I think also just being aggressive and not being scared to make mistakes and just attacking the other team. And then I think just high energy, lastly, is just when we have high energy and when we're having fun, I think we play a lot better.
So final questions, not anything about volleyball, but kind of is. What's your favorite pregame snack, pregame drink before each and every match?
Okay, let me think. My favorite pregame snack is probably, right now, I'm living off of the college money.
Yeah.
So I usually just have like a slice of bread, quick carbs right before the game. Some people will bring snacks or stuff. I'll have fruit snacks or anything, just quick carbs right before. And my favorite drink is probably Body Armor. It just...
So you and Paige both like Body Armor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know she said that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So what's your favorite flavor?
Probably the mango.
Oh my gosh.
Did she say that?
The orange mango?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she said
crazy.
that too.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
That's funny. Now, you didn't give
Wow.
the same snack, but if you guys would have, I would have think that you guys would have practiced that.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know I was going to ask you that.
No, I had no idea.
That's crazy. Well, Josie, we appreciate your time. I know you got to get to practice, but thank you so much, and best of luck this coming weekend.
Thank you.
Awesome. More Coach's Corner coming your way. We're going to wrap things up here with Chase Soennichsen coming up after this. And welcome back here to Coach's Corner. Chase Horsley here alongside with Chase Soennichsen. The Road Warriors are finally home, and they're going to be homebound Warriors coming up this weekend as we continue talking about the upcoming game against Central Wyoming. That it's going to be a big test when you first kind of look at this one and when you probably have looked at film. What's kind of your first focus? And obviously winning, that's one of the big ones. But when you look at the film, looked at what Central Wyoming has done so far, what are some keys that you guys are going to have to do to get the job done this week?
One of our strong suits is we serve rather tough, rather well. We can hone in on anything. I think as long as we keep that up to snuff and stay aggressive on that, everything else will fall back into place. And like setters have their assignments for the weekend, and if we stick to them, and well, I think we'll be successful.
You know, and if I remember right, Central Wyoming last year kind of finished around that middle of the pack, kind of close to the, getting almost kind of close to the top, but in the region. But then after that, you guys have a game or a match against Northwest College. And when you kind of look at that one as well, too, this one's not going to be a 6 o'clock game. So match, my goodness, 6 o'clock match. And it's going to be a 2 o'clock match that comes up. Are there any differences between like maybe some time differences, especially coming after maybe someone should call a late night of volleyball?
You know what? I think preseason prepped us for it, so I don't think there's any surprise coming at us. So.
What was the latest game that you guys played throughout preseason?
I think we played a 6 o'clock match. We were done by 8, and then the turnaround was 8 a.m. the next morning. That was terrible, but we figured it out.
And that was a win at 8 a.m. as well,
Yeah.
too. That was during the crossover, or yeah?
Yep, during the crossover.
So can be done. Can be done. Absolutely. So talking about the couple of the players, you know, that we talked with Paige Rose and Josie Overson, one of the big things that they kind of talked about was identity, especially Josie did, because I brought that question up to her, and a lot of it she was talking about basically it's more of like they're creating a big team culture, and that kind of feels like what their identity is this season. What would you say that the identity for the team is so far throughout this year?
You know, I agree with Josie 100%. I think we've got the mindset where we come into practice, beat each other up, and at the end of the day, we high-five each other, like, thank you for pushing me so hard.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest mental change, where it's okay to make your teammates better,
Yeah.
and learn how to take it in a positive way versus a negative way. So that team culture is there. Every kid is great. Haven't had any issues, which normally you recognize by week 1 or week 2,
Yeah.
and we're a couple months in now, so.
When you kind of look at maybe some of the freshmen that are kind of trying to step up into roles that they may not have had to step in with, you know, sophomore class, things like that, but obviously it's a freshman, sophomore, because we're in JUCO, so you only get 2 years. So who are maybe some of the freshmen that have kind of really stepped it up, that have been some of those big key players?
You know, it's crazy. I've used all the freshmen, but Taylin Yardley is playing a 6 rotation outside hitter, so she gets a lot of swings, and she was originally signed as a DS libero. Gretchen, she comes in and she knows her role. Her role is serving, and that's all I expect her to do, dig a few balls. And then Kaylee Holst is out of Sheridan, is a utility player that if my outside, you know, has a few errors, she goes in outside. If the middle goes errors, she goes in for the middle, and vice versa for the right side. So I mean, they all have roles, and they all stick in and do great things. So even Zuri Moore's come in off the bench, and she's a great back setter, and so she's put a few games away for us, and even serving. So,
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. You know, you brought up that Josie was your middle blocker, and you know, I made that known to her a few times just because we kind of had some fun with that. You're like, not attacker, blocker, in that case, but. Tell the people, like, obviously, you know, you have middle blocker. Do you actually have, like, because I'm not 100% in all the volleyball positions, do you have a middle attacker as well, too?
No.
Or is that just like an inside joke saying, hey, no, you're my blocker?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times a pass has to be 90% or better, almost nearly perfect, to get a middle in on the attack, on the offense. Otherwise, they're running from antenna to antenna trying to shut someone down. That's our big focus.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Well, Coach, once again, give those times for where people can come out and watch you guys this weekend.
So we're at the PC Friday night, Pronghorns Center, taking on the Rustlers of Central Wyoming at 6 p.m. and then the Northwest Trappers at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Awesome. And if you can't make it to the game, you can also go to Pronghorns Athletics YouTube page. We'll be having the games on there. I'll be on the call on Saturday. Unfortunately, we don't have a voice for Friday night, so that one just won't have an announcer for it. But we are looking for someone if we can find someone. But just the fun parts on that. We've got more Coaches Corner stuff coming your way. But this is wrapping up with our volleyball coaches show. Again, Central Wyoming, Northwest College, Central on Friday at 6 p.m., Northwest on Saturday at 2. Don't miss it. Come on out here and watch these volleyball girls absolutely spike it on the court. We will see you guys next time here on the Coaches Corner.